Every former cult member can point to the exact day they realized something was wrong inside the group. That's not the mystery. The mystery is why they stayed for another 6 months, another year, sometimes another decade, after they already knew. Today, I'm breaking down the control system that keeps intelligent, capable people trapped inside beliefs that are destroying them, not the pitch that gets you in the door, the architecture that keeps you from walking back out. Here's the detail that should unsettle you. Cult researchers don't find low intelligence in the people who get trapped. They find a specific kind of pain hitting at a specific moment. Take David, 34, 6 months post-divorce, living in the kind of apartment silence that makes the walls feel like they're closing in. A coworker invites him to a weekend retreat. Breathing work, community, no pressure. He goes because a Saturday alone sounds worse than a room full of strangers. Nobody mentions a belief system on day one. Day one is just 40 people who seem to actually see him in a way his old friends stopped doing months ago. No promises, no doctrine, just a room that fills a hole nobody else was filling. The recruitment was never the trap. The relief was. That relief is stage one, manufactured belonging, engineered warmth aimed with precision at wherever a person is starving. You've probably heard this called love bombing if you've watched anything about manipulative relationships. Cults were using this tactic before toxic partners ever borrowed it. But a cult does something a single manipulative person can't do alone. It doesn't just target you, it builds an entire environment around you, staffed by dozens of people, all trained to hit the same note. And that's where the real machine starts. That machine runs on something cult psychology calls information control, not censorship, architecture. Picture David's actual Tuesday, 6 a.m. group meditation, breakfast eaten in silence to stay present, a full day of unpaid work for the group's business, then a 3-hour evening process circle where the day gets dissected out loud in front of everyone until his eyes are burning and his brain is fog. By the time he's alone with his phone, it's midnight, and there's nothing left in him to read a headline with, let alone question one. His phone still works. His family can still call. He's just too gutted every single day to pick up. Researchers studying high control groups have a term for how fast this shift usually happens. Most members report their entire information diet narrowing within the first 90 days. Not years, 3 months. Faster than most people finish paying off a new phone. Here's a detail that should sit with you. Former members of high control groups describe the same experience, almost word for word. A specific phrase that shut down their doubt instantly every time it surfaced. That's your ego resisting growth. Your family's asleep and you're finally awake. One sentence and the doubt just stops. It's not an argument, it's a reflex installed on purpose. So questioning the group starts to feel like a personal flaw instead of a reasonable thing to do. Then comes the move that turns belonging into dependency, manufactured crisis. The outside world gets quietly rebranded as dangerous, corrupt, ending. Real headlines get recruited for this. A recession hits, and the group frames it as proof the entire outside system is collapsing exactly like they warned. A relative posts one angry political rant, and it's held up as evidence that David's old life was full of people who'd never understand him the way this room does. None of it is invented, it's just aimed. The size of the crisis doesn't matter. The function is identical every time. If outside is dangerous, inside becomes the only safe place left standing. And once safety only exists in one location, leaving stops feeling like a decision. It starts feeling like walking into traffic. Now here's the part almost nobody talks about, and it's the one that actually seals the door shut. Confession. Somewhere around month 4 or 5, the group starts asking members to share something private in front of everyone. A fear, a failure, a family secret. It's framed as healing. David shares something he's never told another living person, and the room doesn't flinch. It applauds. For one night, that feels like the safest he's ever been. But every confession gets quietly filed away as leverage. Months later, in a tense conversation about leaving, someone brings that exact secret back up, gently, almost caring, just to remind him what the group already knows about him and what it could do with that if he walked. The thing he trusted them with is now the leash. And underneath every one of these moves sits the same load-bearing wall. The leader is never wrong. Every failure gets reframed, not as a flaw in the system, but as a flaw in you for doubting it. Researchers actually built a formal framework around this exact structure called the BITE model: behavior, information, thought, and emotional control. And it maps almost perfectly onto workplaces that call themselves family, relationships that isolate you, one phone call at a time, and yes, groups in rows with a compound in the desert. Same four walls, just a different paint job on the outside. So when you picture a cult member and think, that could never be me, understand, that certainty is exactly what every person inside one is feeling right now, today, in this exact moment. The line was never intelligence. It was one lonely season, 6 months of manufactured belonging, and 4 walls built quietly enough that nobody noticed they'd been sealed inside until the door was already gone. One man built this exact architecture around 900 people in the jungle with no walls at all, and convinced every one of them it was love. Friday, I'm taking you inside exactly how he pulled it off. That's the machinery. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it in your own life or in the people around you. If you recognized a piece of this, tell me where in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, because my next deep dive on the psychology of Jim Jones, how he controlled 900 people, goes live on Friday. Now you see the architecture. Most people never do.